Hi. Let's see. There we go. There's the music coming in. I'll make sure that I'm not over it. Audio out headset. Let's get the headset mic up here where I can look at them both. There it is. Okay, hey everybody. Let's do some microscopy tonight. Welcome to the stream. I had a lovely day today. It's only Tuesday. This week has been insane. A very busy few days at work as all of Texas and Arizona suddenly gets cold feet about working back in the office. Unsurprisingly, everybody panics at once. So I have 2 jars of pond water here with us tonight. This one has a lot of algae in it that we can pick through. This one has a bit more clear water, although it does have some worms and some other interesting little guys floating around in there. So let's crack into it. We can start by hanging out and chatting while I prepare a slide with some algae on it. We can get started. Right now you're actually looking at the microscope on screen. That is a close-up of the stripes on some kind of wasp I found dwelling by the river. I hear my wife back there singing. What are you singing, babe? Oh, Fleetwood Mac? Good. Good for you. Love Fleetwood Mac. Oh, I need my microfiber cloth. Here's one. Need to clean these. Not much purpose in using a dirty microfiber cloth, huh? So today I got to visit with a couple other streamers. I usually don't have time to sit in a stream chat and hang out, but I took a little time today to do that, and it was fun. First, I went and I hung out with a new friend. She's over here on Twitch at a tiny world.org, or a tiny world rather. Let's do a quick shout out. A tiny world. She has been streaming microscopy for quite a while now. She's an old hand in the field, whereas I'm the new guy. Alright, looking right on the surface of the water in this jar, I'm seeing with the naked eye a ton of little specks swirling around. I'm guessing these are copepods. Oof. That is a smelly, smelly jar. Let me get another pipette here so I can sort of manipulate some stuff in here a little bit. So, in the past, I have damaged and caused some havoc in Vorticella colonies by twisting and bunching up the algae too much. So then when I get it on the slide, I can't do anything with it. I need a little pair of scissors, actually. I think I have something, but it's in the garage. Hang on, I'm gonna run and get that, and I will be less than a minute. 1 second. Okay, got some tiny scissors. I don't know if these are going to be sufficient to cut this soft algae, but we're going to try. I went outside today. I mean, like outside of from beyond the fold of my fenced-in backyard and garden, which I've made quite cozy in the quarantine. Got very comfortable back there. My little archery range. Oh. Mobile woodworking. Here's a little section. Alright, now here's the trouble. I'm gonna have to use these pipettes like chopsticks. Alright, we're gonna float this up. Quick swap, chopstick grip. We're losing it. No. This is challenging, guys. I lack the proper tools. Okay, actually I got some hooked to the end of the pipette. Pipette? How would you say it? Alright. I can cut it. Cool. Alright. Hey, Zound. Good evening, good morning, morning for you, right? Hello, hello. Alright, so I learned some things today, Zound. I went and I watched another Microscope streamer. I watched her do some stuff. And I'm going to make some little changes to how I do my microscope work. It's 11:30 a.m., yeah. I know, I'm glad you're there. I'll be posting some stuff in there on occasion. It's not the most poppin', most happening joint yet. But I'm there. And so are some other people. A lot of them came from my Elite Dangerous Squadron, which is a spaceship flying game I play. Oof, this jar. Stinky. So how's the day for you? Of course. My pleasure. I like to share in everything I can, or am able to, within reason. You're at the office. What do you do? Alright, I'm gonna try to put this with no cover glass. Almost lunch break. Cool, you're sneaking it in. So last time we did microscopy, I shared my whole monitor and I put up the software that I use, the DynoCam software, on the display so that we could look at it that way. But now I'm actually sourcing the microscope camera directly to my OBS. So let's see how that goes. We'll go back to the old way if this doesn't work out so well, but in finance, budget, and property company. That's funny. I'm a system administrator for finance, for title insurance. We're almost in the same industry. Oh, we're in the wrong camera. We're examining some freshwater pond samples. I took these, got them on Saturday. So they're 3 days old that these samples have been sort of sitting here on the bookshelf that you see behind me here. I also got my My Little Pony blanket on. Let's just lose that. Not that it's any threat to my masculinity. It is strong. My Little Pony is not a bad show. I'll fight somebody who says otherwise. fight him. So what I've done this time...
At last, we can retire and give up this life of crime.
Illmatic, what's up? Oh, dude, you dropped them bits. Yeah, for 100 bits, I'll do a roar. If you notice, there's some stream rewards. You can spend your bones and make me do push-ups. I also have barbells. I'll do curls. I'll do sit-ups. Since quarantine, I haven't been going to the gym, so I bet I'm out of shape. You guys could probably wind me with those. I've been extremely lax on my physical fitness. So anyways, today I went and I watched a different Microscope streamer. I'll give her another shout out here. A Tiny World. And what I noticed, what she does differently from me is she uses petri dishes. And she puts the petri dish down in the on the platform. Where I'm using slides. She has a better camera than I do too, but that's a different matter. So this time I put the slide down and I didn't drop a cover slip because I wanted to see if maybe the specimens would have like a more free ecosystem to move around in. I don't know what to expect. We're experimenting here. You wish you could do fitness, too lazy. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's cool of you. Word of mouth is a powerful thing. Yeah, I mean, so the thing about fitness is getting over that hump. I heard some fitness junkie talking about it, and they said, like, if you can set a schedule, say, go to the gym 3 days a week. So every 3 out of 7 days, you go to the gym for 1 hour. And just do a really simple basic routine. If you get to 90 days, you'll have a habit. Like mentally, you will change and you'll feel bad if you don't go. You'll be more motivated to turn up at the time that you said to yourself, like making a commitment to yourself and keeping it. And it's something that I'll tell you, I'm not the best at doing. I've got my vices, I've got my shortcomings and my weaknesses, but I did find a change in my mentality probably about week 6 of begrudgingly forcing myself to go to the gym on that routine. I started really looking forward to gym day. You know, getting very excited on my drive to the gym. You have a treadmill machine at your home, but after coming home from work, I just want to sit and eat. Yeah, I feel that. The comforts of home are very real. Well, so long. Now, be careful of external inspiration. I've fallen into the trap before. Being inspired by somebody or something is good. But unless that translates to an internal motivation, then you won't find that mental change in how you approach your own growth. You know what I notice is it's a little stiller in here. Nothing here. Maybe we should go deeper and get a deeper clump of algae. I'm not seeing much vorticella. Vorticella? Vorticella? I don't know. Let's get a little closer. So what I notice, oh, there's something. Now I don't have my digital zoom, so that'll be hard, but let's see, let's keep looking. I like this music sound. This is your green tea jazz video, huh? Oh, you're holding a shark? My wife's having some Animal Crossing fun with a friend of ours. Why is there so much motion there? I wonder if there's something off frame making a current. Yeah, of course. Anyone in chat right now? Soundscape is the creator of the soundtrack we're listening to right now. Oh, hello, diatom. It's one of those little bivalve diatoms right there. Wah. See it? Top center. That's cool. Yeah, and that might be a stentor. I'm not sure what that is. So again, right now we're browsing. I'm putting the source directly from the microscope camera to OBS. So what I don't have are the tools that I usually have as far as a digital zoom, a measuring tool. There's some like auto white balance stuff, so that's handy on the software. So we'll see if we have to go back to doing it the other way. See those little specks moving around? I don't think those are what I think they are. That might just be little microcurrents due to surface tension and whatnot. Because right there we were looking through the surface. Let's take it back up a step.
Oh no!
What happened?
She was trying to show me her snail and she just dropped it.
Ha ha ha. Hey, Captain Sean 1. Good evening or morning. Pardon, just a moment, please. We had an unauthorized bedroom egress. It is past the little one's bedtime. Hey, Captain Sean. Oh, this is the friend. All right, well then, good morning to you. Good late morning to you. Welcome. Do you live in Indonesia as well, or are you a distant friend? We have these distant friends. They're special kinds of friends. Oh, hello. Let's let that white balance shift. What's that, you think? Maybe some kind of egg? That's neat. Preparing your lunch now, then I'll watch you while you take. Alright. I don't know what that is, Zount. Maybe some sort of egg. Your distant friends. Cool. I'm really missing being able to take a screenshot of that. So let me do a quick side by side for you guys, since I'm going to leave this interesting object up on the screen. And let me show you what Her? Oh, I don't know what she's doing to you. Okay, so here's the other option. Yeah, quail egg, maybe. So here's the pros. Pros of using the camera source directly to the OBS is I can put the whole microscope image much larger for you guys. All right, you can see a larger picture. Um, that's mostly it. It also is a little less for me to manage as far as running back and forth between software. Um, so that's the pros of doing it the way you see it right now. Yeah, Captain, kind of an experiment, but more of a just a look at. And I'd love your input as a viewer to tell me what's good for you guys for watching any kind of microscope content. So you can look at it like this. Now the other option is for me to go here, and I have this is my software here, and then I can bring in the camera source. Now I can't make this any larger, unfortunately. Oh, there it goes. That has been stubborn in the past. All right, well this changes things. Hang on a second. Problem is it is stuck in that frame now. What do you guys think? What's better? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, using a used face mask. That's a good idea. Oh, something's moving inside of there. Did you see it? Oh, that might be a bivalve. Look, see the seam here? It could be a little freshwater clam. That might not be babies. It could be a mussel inside of its shell. Let's watch it a moment longer. I think that this is better actually to do it in this way, because then I can snap these pictures straight from the source. It is a bivalve. Look at, oh. I knew it if we waited. It might be a snail. Yeah, that was cool. Let's sit here and watch this for a few more minutes then. That's really neat. It's magical. I mean, I could sit here and just. It's so cool. Yeah, I get a rush, when you see that thing. You feel like a child. Look at it. You can see little segments inside of the shell moving around. That is so cool. I do think that, I mean, it's a bivalve of some kind, so that means it's got, two shells and it opens like a clam. It might be a freshwater mussel, but it's infinitesimal. What kind of egg would is this? I don't think this is an egg. That was my first impression. Some kind of egg. But I'm not sure. Let's leave it on there for a moment. See if we can catch it moving again. Oh, that's nice. It is intriguing. There's something flickering around back there. Is it behind it? Do you see that little motion there? Oh, and this is why, the other reason I like to use the software is I have the digital zoom. So we can really get into it. Come on, you lovely little bivalve. Move some more. Hey, Hive Mind. Oh yeah, they banned a bunch of subs today. I saw that. Funny that you call that a book burning spree, but India banning TikTok and a bunch of other apps. I mean, that's just control. Look, private entities have the right to choose. They got rid of some pretty poisonous places. Um, there's other places on the internet. I don't know. There was some good entertainment lost, I'll say that much. That's curing cancer. um, yeah. Yeah, Reddit banned a bunch of subs. I saw a funny, there's a couple good subs. If you like Game of Thrones, there's the Free Folk subreddit, which is turned into a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and there's a lot of hate on that subreddit for D&D, the guys that destroyed the Game of Thrones franchise. And so so stinky in there. Yikes. And so they're all like, uh-oh, Reddit's banning hate subreddits. Like, ooh, we're next. Come on, get on there. Oh, they banned one sub which isn't even remotely related to anything. Redditia Continent. It's an RP sub with barely a few people, and they banned it. I think they had close to 30 subs. RP subs, were they taking the RP very seriously, and did it look like a hate subreddit? Because I know that there's like, have you seen the bird people, mud people, and there's like, I forget, there's a third race, and it's a big RP sub where it literally is just like, it's fictional race wars. So on one hand, there's harmless RP, but on the other hand, there's coded racism, which you do see in certain communities. If you go look, Friend World or Friend World, I don't know if you ever saw that one, but that was a clever little attempt by right-wing nationalists to disguise their bigotry and hatred as fun RPing, just a lark. And they, in their fun RP, white people were called friends, and non-whites were called non-friends, which is really about a stupid, like, really dumb. Ilmatic. Oh boy, here we go. So dude, stack them up. You forgive them for banning the Donald? Yeah, I do too. I mean, the Donald was funny because they're like free speech zone, but it's actually impossible to downvote anything, and it's actually impossible to make any comments that counter Donald Trump or any of the things said or thought in that subreddit. Like, it was one of the most, it was like North Korea in there as far as levels of censorship. Yeah, they're like, this is the only free place on the internet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 push-ups. I'll make it 10, and I'll do deep cuts. And you know what? I'm gonna leave that dude on. I've got a slide prepared and on deck, so we can move on to something. But you want your push-ups? I'll do them, and we'll leave this little bivalve creeping and crawling up there for you guys to look at. Yeah, you just went there when you wanted to look angry. Ended up cringing so hard. No, yeah, that was the thing about the Donald, is it was just really awkward and embarrassing. If you want to get angry, go to Ask Trump supporters or something, because that's just now you can actually watch people just being so willfully ignorant and evil in their ethical outlook. It's not fun. All right, y'all want some push-ups? For my noodly arm self, it's been a hot minute since I've done this, but I've been shooting my bow for like the past 4 days, so I'm not super out of shape. It's the equivalent of like 1 push-up a day, right? All right, here. Gonna go like this. And we're gonna go like this. All right, 1 minute. But I was saying that shooting my bow is equivalent the amount of shooting. Oh, sorry, Doc. How would I eat while doing push-ups? I would get like a chocolate cake, put on a plate right on the ground, and when I hit the bottom, just take a bite, push up. So did he move anymore while I was exercising? I was working out. He doesn't seem to be moving much. I've got the next slide right here. I have not, but I've got some pictures and we'll identify it. I know some people who can help. Oh my god, my poor cat, she pukes too much. You're my hero, baby. I don't know, she's never done that before. No, actually. Yesterday. Could we really use a floof ball? Do you want to find a floof ball? You can go looking for something like that. It's fun to look through this in real color. Smacking on the counter. Oh yeah, well, Gigi has just gone under the table to pout because she had a little pukey. Parm, come here, buddy. Come on up here. Come on, say hello to the camera. Hey. There's my boy. Good boy, Parm. Can I have a high five? Can you shake it? No, he thinks he's gonna get a treat. Good boy. Oh, hang on. I see what I got going on in the chat box. Needs to come up a little bit. So, Illmatic. All right, let's do this. Let me find something to look at, and then I'll do the thing. So my cat's name is Gigi, or Giada de Ferrentis, if you prefer a punny name. What are you? Bit of dirt. Oh man, no Russian. When that game dropped and the news media found out about it, there's another one. He looks like he's struggling, doesn't he? Hold still. That looks like the same thing. But he's frantically wiggling around. Oh. It might be a copepod, actually. Usually, they're flying all over the place. Norman. Come here, Norman. Kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. Psst, 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 psst. Psst. Yeah, he's ignoring me. Man, I never knew you didn't have to shoot the people at all. You don't have to shoot the people? Oh, jeez. Hive Mind, I'd like to paraphrase a quote for you. First, I'll tell you the quote, and then I will tell you when it was said. The quote is essentially, the quote says, "The problem with today's generation is that they have no respect for their elders, a disregard for the rule of law, and a general disrespect for society and the future." Basically, it's just complaining about kids. And the quote is from about 500 BC. Basically, just demonstrates that, yeah, the older generations are always they disregard the younger ones. Yeah. That is cool though. I still don't know if that's a bivalve and if it's opening and sticking those things out through the valve, or if it's a single-shelled organism. My fingers are starting to scab up from shooting my bow. Yeah, there's another one floating by itself. Can we see inside of this at all, I wonder? Not really, actually. Wow, quite opaque. Do you have a joke for me? I'm excited. Well, never mind. Alright. I respect your right to withhold your joke, Hive.
I'll probably put it in the attic tomorrow.
Oh, you know what's happening is the warmth from the lamp is drying out the slide very quickly. Twist, that's the joke. The joke is that I don't get to laugh. You'll think of a joke and we'll be back. Counting on you, Hive. New slide.
Anyway, did you see my bathroom, Laura? The other room? No, I don't want to
Take
find
two.
stuff. I want, I know, I love my stuff.
How do you make holy water?
Shower.
Boil the hell out of it. Oh, that's wholesome. Boy, that is wholesome.
The camera is so funny. I was like, we're made about the security camera.
I like it. I was walking down the road carrying my Scrabble game and I accidentally dropped it. And as I'm picking it up, a guy comes up and says, "Hey, what's the word on the street?" God, these are uncle jokes. Straight up. Proud of you guys. I was playing Valorant the other night and I got dad joked hard by a 12-year-old. It was really funny. It's funny when a 12-year-old busts out the high quality dad jokes, you know? So I feel like the nastiest, grossest joke ever. Certified. I've never heard of a certified joke. But I do put the adult content warning on the stream so that we can have a little bit of ill-advised fun now and again. Lay it on me, Hive. It's not gonna get me a Twitch ban, is it?
Yeah, that's what I use those yellow percent as.
There's another one. Oh, hello. Somebody's crowding in.
And then I love my crowd too.
Oh, come on. Get in focus, you.
The Gemini cabinet.
It's a big guy crowding in. There it is. By Valve.
Well, I think I got 3 cancer fragments from that one night.
Yeah, I cringed too. I'm not even gonna read that one out loud. Shame on you. I'm laughing at you telling the joke, not at the joke. I want it to be clear.
You probably got a cancer one because that's what I got that night.
It's true, Sound, though. You should commit to a good joke. You respect the joke. You laugh more at an awful joke that is committed to. I don't know if these two guys are the same thing. Actually, you know, looking at them. I need one of those big signs. You hold it up and it just says, "Yikes, yikes."
Oh man, I just finished the last one. Banana split now.
Ticks. I used to get ticks all the time when I lived in Ohio and Kentucky. Because I was a wild boy, I'd go running in the fields for hours, sometimes even days. Come back with so many ticks. They're always obscured. Another one of these little speckled guys. Alphabet soup for adults. Times New ramen. You guys are good. Not that kind of funny. I need like someone that's the right kind of funny around me, and then I can light up and I can be real funny. But I have a hard time being funny in a vacuum. I don't have jokes. I know a guy who collects jokes, and he just can rattle off any joke. He can just tell the joke. He's a pro. I see you there, but I can't focus on you. Alright, this was a bit too much of the moss analogy. It's too crowded in here. You know?
I've got gray hair with bangs, and I'm wearing a black shirt.
A little too crowded. What is common between obesity and disease? Wait, no. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, try it again. Rewind. They're both easy to catch. That took a pleasant turn, actually. That's a pleasant ending. Ramen food and Miss Word food. Miss Word food. Alright, let's make another slide. While I do that, have a look at the leg of a huntsman spider that I got myself. Huntsman spiders are really common around here. I love spiders. In fact, ooh, you know what? Let's do a dry sample. I have in this jar, I hope she's not too disturbed. Yeah, she's still on our egg clutch. This is exciting. I hope I don't disturb her too much. Oh no, baby. Come on, honey, stay on this leaf. Alright, I got a spider mama and her egg clutch here. She probably won't stick around long under the light. But I wonder if we can get a look at her. This is a bold move, and I don't think it's going to work out well for me. Because she's moving her egg clutch around now. She's dragging it away.
No, it's like binoculars.
Yeah, I'm all the way down and I can't
How do you use it?
focus on this. Nope, that's a fail.
Don't plot her in.
Alright, I'll put her and her eggs back because I want to put her back in my garden.
Nora!
I love spiders. I don't know if you can. Probably can't see. You can see a little speck in there. There's a spider and her little egg clutches. Oh good, there you are. Yeah, stay with your eggs, mama. Get back in there. I love spiders. Do you know diarrhea is hereditary? Oh, I've heard this one. It runs in your genes. Oh. Diarrhea.
I got it made virtually because Evelyn was like, I don't like those nuts. They freak me out, so I made stuff.
Neat. Huh. What a jerk. They hunt humans. No, they are ambush hunters, though. They don't nest. See these spines? We are looking at a squash leaf. Get over here. Alrighty. Let's pull another wet sample.
You want to see some baby Dustin?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So that's Harlan. He's got his second breakfast shirt on. Right?
No, man, that's him?
Yeah.
Yikes. I'm looking at
That
pictures
one
of
looks just
babies.
like Harlan.
Yeah, it does. Is that a beer?
Yeah, he's holding a Budweiser.
That looks just like Harlan. Man, why do kids be looking like their parents?
Yeah, Evelyn didn't look that much like either of them.
Why does Stephen Hawking do one-liners? Because he can't do stand-up. Ew. Alright, we're gonna look in the other jar now. Oh yeah, you getting the baby picture of me?
Yeah, I just had gotten some else. I forgot why, but... Well, here, I'll send you a picture of me and my brother. I should have looked at this last time.
Hmm. Alright, so I've got a relatively clear sample of fluid from the clearer jar. So let's see what this looks like.
At last, we can
Hey,
retire and give up
Illmatic.
the crime.
The Cheermaster. Thanks, dude. Oh, look, a diatom. I think. Right there. It's got the right shape for that bivalve diatom. Yeah, bingo.
But, oh, that's adorable. She looks like an English pet.
Did you see how everything jiggled when my wife walked past? It's funny. Oh, look who's up on the desk looking for something to steal. It's Norman. Hey, kitty. Don't you drink this. No, sir. No, sir. This is my mischievous cat, and he's gonna sit right here on my mouse. Here. Jesus. Oh, Sarah, what's up? Hey, I saw you on Julie's stream and on the Twitches, and you said what's up, and you were kind. Hello, I'm fixing my damn broken thing. My cat has come here to try to steal from me, because that's what he does. Oh, I've really cocked this up. Come on, there it is. Stay up there, you. I've got a really rudimentary and slapdash setup here. There it is. But down more. Almost. What?
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
What have I done? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Illmatic. Thanks for the sub, dude. Big cheer for you, my man. Here, I was trying to show you my kitty Norman, but he's just sitting very conveniently just off frame. Yeah, it's so cool being a Microscope streamer now. So actually what happened, so my wife, she works in agriculture and she works for a small-ish company that produces a compost tea and liquid fertilizer for vineyards and orchards. Yeah, this kitty is actually going to actively sabotage me. I just can't shake the feeling. I'll leave that up there so you can see him. What are you doing, sir? See, he's super interested in what I'm doing. No, okay, I thought that was a thing. You can't drink this, please. I don't want you to do that. Sir. So my wife works in agriculture and they make this really awesome compost tea. Super good for your plants. And so her boss's father came by and delivered this microscope for me and my daughter to play with. And it came with some camera attachments. So here we are, now streaming microscope stuff. I'm looking for some good debris down here to put on the slide. Let's pull this up here. Sarah, so how's things? How you been? Are things all good? You have your microscope on the kitchen counter. The laptop cord stretches across the dining room. That's right. I need to start looking in different water sources because right now, all I'm finding in this sir, you seeing this, sir? I'm finding these particular bivalve diatoms are the ones that I'm finding the most of in the local pond. It's just a municipal city pond. I live in a city, and so I need to find some better sources. Okay, this is a muddy slide now. We're gonna look at some muddy water after this little slide here. It was super generous. I mean, super cool too. We get to explore together now, and my daughter and I spend time looking at stuff in the yard. And are we zoomed in here? Yeah, let's back up a little bit. Okay, make sure I don't put my elbow in the slide that's on deck. Cover this up so the cat doesn't drink it. Looking at you, Norman. This is Norman. He's such a good kitty. We got him when he was a kitten from the local shelter, and he's the first cat I've ever raised from a kitten, and so it's really cool to. He's just got such a different personality from my other kitty, who we got her when she was 3 years old. So she was already full grown. She had kittens. She'd been living on the street. So I've got a different relationship with her than I do with this little guy. You work in a doctor's office. Good for you. That's good work. I'm a system administrator, so I work in this chair now. What do you do in the doctor's office? There's a lot to do in a doctor's office. He does just want to help. He's such a friendly little kitty. He's also really fascinated by the stuff moving around on the screen. Do you see him looking at it? There's so many little diatoms in this shot. There's just a lot of debris in this. Oh, you're on mobile, so there's a huge delay. Okay, cool. Thank you for the heads up. What is that? Oh, hello. That looks like a stentor that's been dislodged from its anchor. See it sitting there? Alright, let me get a better look at it. Oh, you see an amoeba? I didn't see the amoeba, but it's probably the delay means it's long gone now. So yeah, see that? Now the other thing I've noticed is I've got these twin, I don't know if it's a stentor or what this is, but I found these all over the place and they're twinned. There's always a taller one and a shorter one. Two mouths, and they both extend and wave their cilia and create their vortexes. Don't step on my slide, Norman. Yeah, I don't know what those ones are. What I love about searching for life in the microscope is it's so hard to define so much of this. What are you doing? What are you taking, sir? Oh my God, no. He's trying to eat the bug off of the slide I have over here. You can't eat that. You freak. He found this dead wasp that I was looking at earlier and he's trying to lick it up off the slide. What do you got now? God, you're such a scoundrel. You're trying to take the whole sample vial? Don't step on the keyboard. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna just gently extract you and put you on your perch, okay? Is that okay? You alright? Good boy. He's a good kitty. He loves it up there. He just sits in the back of my chair for hours. Referrals do the urgent ones for internal and external, and with everyone putting off their preventative care lately, now it's super busy. I would imagine so. Everyone's suddenly jumping on that, their aches and pains. Ilmatic, you're welcome to make me do more push-ups. Like I said, I've been super lax, and I put those rewards up there. There's a limit. I think after 20, they are out of stock. Oh, with Norman on my back? Did that just break, or am I... Oh no, he just retracted. I wasn't looking. Norman wouldn't stay on my back, but I do push-ups with my daughter on my back. She's 9 now, and that's really hard. Yeah, with delay long gone. Sorry. Not usually having an actual conversation with a streamer, so it's harder to track the delay of responses. I'm a very patient, exceedingly patient and um, forgiving person of delay, so I'm okay with it if you are. I can rewind and go back to the conversation where we're at and try to keep track of your responses, so I'm here for it. I love having conversations with chat. That's like one of my favorite things about Twitch so far. Yeah, that wasp was a cool old river wasp that I found. God, I want to know what this is. It's a different kind of, I think it's a kind of stentor. Except the stentor usually, well, we'll find one a little later, hopefully, and we can look at it. So lately I've been, or just tonight, I stopped putting cover slips on. Oh yeah, I see these guys retract a lot too. We see my Vorticella from my pond also are very sensitive and retract a lot. Are we still zoomed in? There we go, yeah. The digital zoom in. Yeah, I caught that Dorado. There's that stentor right there. That's the same one. Just heard some fireworks outside. It's that time of year. A very busy day. Yeah, so work has been really busy for me too because we have a lot of branches in Texas and Arizona now, and everybody, in the first part of March, we scrambled to get everybody working from home, and then everybody got comfortable with feeling like they beat Corona in Texas and Arizona, so they all started going back into the office, and then, surprise, surprise, our preventative measures didn't work. All right, let's identify this thing. Because look, um, I have a picture of another one of these that I captured a while ago. One of the first things that I saw. Look at this. See? Now, at first, I thought this was just like a fragment of algae or something. But yeah. Sorry, let me catch up here. I love the community of Twitch. I just got on here about a month ago. Found Dr. WD-40 through his COVID videos on YouTube, and from there found TKF, the Knowledge Forum, and learned about Discords. And now I found so many educational streamers on Twitch. It's great. It is great. I'm really new. I started in January, and it's been a really fun experience. I'm really new to, as of like a couple weeks ago, new to the educational side of Twitch. I actually started just playing video games because I was doing that in my own time anyways. Um, so it's pretty cool to have to see that there's all this activity and interest in the educational side because one of the things that I'm here to do on Twitch is to share my passion and to talk to other people who love to share their passions too. And the things I'm most passionate about are science, discovery, skepticism, critical reasoning. I also love talking about some ooky stuff sometimes. We'll talk about murderers or serial killers or cult leaders, or I'll talk about anything. That's probably my big thing, is I will talk about anything. I wish I knew what this was though. Yeah, some kind of algae, right? Oh, and to answer your question earlier, yeah, I was in Blackfield or Darkfield. I like to switch around. And after watching Julie today, I'm not putting on cover slips and I'm looking at prices for packs of Petri dishes. That that might be like a dead water flea or something. I might just be seeing things, but I don't think it's Hydra because Hydra usually move, right? Oh, look at this stentor. Oh, he's taking big chunks out of that. Is that what he's doing? I think he's just chewing that stuff up. And again, is the double-headed. I've got these two-headed, I'm calling them stentor for now because they've got the external shell and the internal body that retracts. And look how far they're stretching out. Sarah says that's awesome. Oh, we'll get along great then. Other than murderers, not really into the seedy side of humanity. Keeps me up at night. But abnormal psych is cool. Yeah, I don't ever get into like the nitty gritty of, and then he stabbed him, and then they ran and hit him with the axe. Like, I don't get into that. I really like to talk about the people they are. Let me just, if you want to know about like the mood that I try to hit if I do talk about that kind of stuff, is I go after this is a great podcast I like to listen to called The Last Podcast on the Left. And they talk a lot about the seedier side of humanity, but they do it in a way to demystify these kinds of people. And I just want to read you an excerpt from their latest book, from their first book. Years of researching serial killers has revealed that most of these criminals are not monsters of nightmares they are so often portrayed to be by true crime entertainment, but are more often huge dorks who couldn't get anything right in their lives, so they turned to murder and mayhem. Um, so this is in this book they talk about the top like the biggest 9 names in murdering that have ever disgraced the face of the earth, but the purpose is to exhibit their failure to humanity, to demonstrate that, again, they're not monsters, they're utter abject losers, and the only thing they could do in life was hurt other people. And so we should laugh at their failure. What losers these people are. Ilmatic. Oh, you're Native American. Cool, dude. That's awesome, dude. I got into a fight with some people on Facebook about tearing down Mount Rushmore because I don't think that we should just tear it down. I think that we should ask the Lakota people how they want their land returned to them and then just do it that way. And if the Lakota people are like, tear that fucker down, and then we'll be like, okay, and then we'll get their land back. Or if they're like, no, we want to tear it down, but you should pay for it. And then we'll be like, all right, here, do you want us to buy you dynamite or like lots of sand blasters, airstrike? What do you want, Lakota Nation? Sorry we stole that land from you. It was entirely unceded and not a part of the treaty. That's just my take. I don't know if that's a super hot take, but it certainly upset a couple boomers on my Facebook. What are you? What's going on here? What's happening? Do you see this like thread? I don't know if you guys are seeing that. Also, look at the size, the variety and size of diatoms. Bingo, bongo. Here's a little guy over here. So I also get the rectangular diatoms. Um, what I learned was that diatoms grow smaller as progressive generations pass. So the larger the diatom, the younger it is. Oh, it could just be hair. No, it'd be thicker at this magnification, I think. Also, sup, Adam. Welcome back, Zound. Oh, is that a heliozoan? I think we got a helio, guys. Oh, did you just see it teleport? Or is that me? Do you guys see that helio teleport? That's a heliozoan. Almost certainly. Yes. That's cool. I always find it cool other people know about our culture, I mean, especially from the Oneida tribe and the Sioux. Oneida and Sioux. Cool. I oh oh dear. Hello. Jackpot. He's stuck. Long thought that most criminals are just trying to get needs met. They were either never taught how to meet those needs in socially appropriate ways, or never had good moral examples, or through negative feedback loops learned destructive behavior as rewarding. Few soapbox. It's a really interesting thing that's worth discussing because you're going to find many different, many things are true all at once for many different people. Um, you look at someone like Charles Manson or Robert Pickton, and these were monsters that were created by our cruel and heartless criminal justice system. Man, that poor little Stentor in there is getting just tossed around. You see him? There he goes. He's free. And away he goes. That's a copepod. I'm pretty sure that's a copepod. I'm not going to be able to record any footage of him. We'll just have to catch him on the VOD. Helio teleport. Well, a heliozoan is a a type of, I think it's a an autotroph, and it just has all these hairs extending out in every direction. They're little spheres. How much is a microscope? I actually don't know how much a microscope like this would cost. Sarah. Was it a bivalve? Because that was something that we were looking at earlier too in Blackfield. What are you? Is that alive too? Is that an eye spot? It certainly looks like a thing. So another thing Julie has that I don't is a lower magnification eyepiece. Because my camera attachment is 25 times and my lowest objective is 4, that means at least our lowest magnification possible is going to be 100 times. Oh man, there it goes. See the copepods? They, when they're free to move, they move, boy. They move. So this guy, anytime I get a good look at something, I'm gonna expect a copepod to come through and just slosh the water up. Norman's back. Hey Norman, welcome back to the show, sir. Ah, sir, what are you? No, you're trying to eat the wasp again. Get back. He got the wasp. Oh, he's eating it. Ah, he ate it. Jesus, dude. I mean, it's been dead for a week, but come on, man. I took it from the river. Yes, it was sitting on a slide. We looked at it earlier. It was sitting up there and he just walked up and ate it. No, it's just a bug. He's got the leg stuck to his tongue and he's struggling with it. Oh, now you're trying to puke it up? You're trying to spit it out onto the desk? No, it's fine. It wasn't like a venomous wasp. It was just a. It was probably a one of those mock. I mean, it was probably a mock wasp. Norman. So where I live is, I think it's Maidu land or Wintu. Okay, you ate it, Norman. There's no more up there, sir. It's okay. Can't believe he ate my wasp. Oh, he's just trying to take stuff. Ooh. Now what do you suppose is that? Guys, there's so many interesting things. Now that's got a bunch of little cells in it, doesn't it? Now a heliozoan will be a single sphere with yeah, what was that black and move fast thing? I'm pretty sure that black and move fast thing is a copepod. copepods are, I think, aren't they technically arthropods? Why are you trying to take my chapstick? All right, I can't see this on dark field. There's that blurry, fast black thing. They also seem to teleport. I don't understand how these things are able to move so fast that they do appear to teleport. Yeah, they are fast AF. This is a great little sample. It's wide open. There's our Stentor again. Why are you messing with the lamp now, Norman? He's just looking for trouble. Hmm. I gotta find another freshwater pond nearby. Because right now I just have the one. And I'm becoming pretty familiar with the varieties of diatoms. I've seen three kinds of diatoms that I'm sure of. There's the there's the most common, this bivalve diatom. Now, some of them are motile, and I think that that might not be what that is, but I've seen these moving as well. Oh, let me read this. Ilmatic, the Oneida. Am I saying that correct? Oneida? Oh, sir. Norman, you're a menace. They originate from New York, but there's a small beach west in Wisconsin, near Green Bay. Just a little history. The Oneida has their land taken from them by the Europeans in a tribe in Wisconsin, known as the Menominee. For a small piece of it. Oneida. Okay. Well, that's nice of the Menominee. They gave you, they gave the Oneida a small piece of their land after, you guessed it, Europeans displaced them. Way to go, Europeans. A plague upon their houses. No, respect to any modern Europeans watching. What? There's another of, uh-oh, come on, wrong way. Now this is one of those. Okay, Norman, really up in my business here, sir. You're stepping on the slides. Jesus. It's just walking across the slides. Wild. Yeah. The spots on these guys are really cool, and you can see him moving inside of his shell. All right, let's try this next slide here. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it, actually. Just to thin it out a little bit because it's a pretty mucky sample. All right, this one was neat, but it was pretty clear. Okay.
Thanks for watering my flowers.
We might need to start in dark field here.
Okay. Where are you going? Hold on, you're cutting out a little bit. No, I can't. Where are you going? You're gonna go to the airport.
Let's keep looking. So yeah, I was inspired. Oh, there's another one of those spindly doohickeys. See it here? It's another one of these. I don't know what this is, but here it is again. And it seems to always have the same shape. There's this long branch that seems to kink up, and then it has. I mean, how identical can these all be? White ball is a pediastrum. Oh, Sarah, don't be disheartened by the delay. Yeah, all the diatom varieties. I mean, I think there are now some 40,000 known different varieties of diatoms in all different kinds of environments, not just marine environments. Apparently, they're found in soil. That, I think, is a little mineral, a little piece of mineral, maybe a little chunk of quartz or something. Live in teepees and don't have electricity. Yeah, a lot of stereotypes. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that clear, Sarah. It seemed to be perfectly transparent, didn't it? Most peculiar. If it was some kind of algae, wouldn't it have chloroplasts? I wonder if it is. I don't think so. Diatoms are usually, because of the way that they grow their like opaline silica shells, they're generally geometric. You know, as far as nature is geometric. That is something moving. See that in the bottom of the frame? I think. Yeah, 40,000. 40,000 known varieties of diatom. They make up approximately 30% of Earth's biomass, and every year produce about 50% of Earth's atmospheric oxygen. Diatoms are one of the most crucial organisms in Earth's biosphere. They're a foundational organism. Their microbial action on a mass scale globally accounts for a significant portion of the biological activity on planet Earth. Without them, all life on Earth would collapse, as all of the dependent species, all the way up the food chain, that depends on the diatoms, would go with them. They're also a useful marker species because their shells require very delicate, specific organic chemistry. And if you see any changes to that organic chemistry in their environment, then you'll quickly see diatom counts fall off. Cockroach in my glass. Not on my glass. Sarah says it could be the shell of the edge that has been eaten by the scavengers. I've seen them go into the cells. eat the chloroplasts. Absolutely, yeah. If I leave this shell, if I leave this jar sealed for another week and then I go in, I'll find all kinds of empty bodies that are just teeming with little tiny specks. You know? Hello. Something's moving down there. You see that? So many interesting shapes in here. Alright, Zound. Oh, the music stopped. Come back. And from now until 5 p.m. Have a lovely shift, Zound. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. You're welcome, sir. If I can just share one fascinating thing, then I will be a happy man. And if that fascinating thing also happens to be stimulating or interesting, God, this pond water stinks so bad. That's a good sign though, right? Is that a ciliate in the frame right now, you mean? Oh, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, if you can find any info on that. Alright, let's get rid of the muddy sample. That was interesting, but we have a better chance of finding some other stuff in the presence of higher amounts of algae. So, first, let's go here. Yeah, the stinkier it is, the more life. Yeah, it's been cooking. Now, it's funny how quickly life decays in these environments, though, because it is really only been a few days, but I'm noticing that these strands of moss have been sucked clean to a much higher degree. See how hollow these are? Oh, the clear bubble thing, is that a ciliate? I don't think it was. It didn't have... I didn't see any hairs, I didn't see any motion. It just seemed to be very stationary. Okay, so one of the problems with not putting a cover slip on and just using a slide instead of using a petri dish the way that Julie does is I can't sorry, that just completely wiped my brain looking at that thing. Anyway, the surface tension of the droplet on the slide causes distortion, and so it makes it hard to focus on things at certain points. this, I think, is a ciliate. You can see the little hairs all the way around it. And am I seeing it correctly? Has it enveloped this? That is neat. Hello, is that a crescent diatom? What are we looking at there? Because that is a very ordered shape, isn't it? Oh no, it's moving. As a current is lifting it up, it was laying flat. Damn you. What current? I wonder if the heat from the lamp creates tiny convection currents. Oh no, it's a hairy belly! Gastrotrick. I'm pretty sure that's a gastrotrick. You can see its little tail, its little dovetail there. Alright. There are three interesting things going on in this picture. Ciliate. I don't know what this crescent moon doohickey is. Thank you for laying down flat again. And then a gastrotrick. We just saw one of these on, you see its hairy belly? We've seen one of these in just on Julie's stream just today, and there it goes. It got unstuck, and there goes the gastrotrick. Happy little gastrotrick. Look at it go. Whee! Would somebody mind clipping that for me, please? I gotta make a little command so you guys can just go like, bang, clip. Little spinning wheels at the ends? Really? I don't think it's motile on its own energy. It seems to just be drifting with the current. We gotta work fast. The lamp light is quickly drying out a sample. It's interesting to see this thing now. Edge on, it's a completely uninteresting shape, right? That would have never caught my eye. But because I was lucky enough to see it lying flat down, you know, it popped to me and I noticed it. Surface stuff. The crescent is a diatom? That's a new variety then. I've never seen a crescent diatom in these waters before. Fantastic. Yeah, more push-ups. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm rested. I'm fully rested. I'm ready for another round. I know you only got 8, but I did 10 last time. Whatever you get this time, I'm just gonna do 10 again. So, you know. Yeah, the big thing seemed like some kind of ciliate, but I don't know. When we're in this region, let's go to Darkfield now and try that out. Man, Adam, that's a good question. There are so many varieties and morphologies of the diatoms. I don't know. It seems like it'd be more difficult to divide and reproduce than a bivalve. Don't know though. Now these little clusters of little white doohickeys. Wonder what these are. Clapping push-ups. No, I use the lifters and I do deep push-ups. Thing is my house is literally 100 years old. So if I do clapping push-ups, you know, you land hard when you do these clapping push-ups. I'll be shaking and rattling this whole house. You gotta tread lightly in this house. It's ancient. I own this thing too. I'm not about to let it come crashing down around my head. If I was a renter, it'd be a different story. The star-shaped algae is Actinastrum. Let's look it up. That's interesting, but I don't think that's what we have here. Unless you were talking about that other thing. We did see something like this. That's really pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A proper 10 push-ups. Alright, alright. Before I do that, let me leave something interesting on the screen, because it's my duty as your host tonight to not leave you staring at some boring stuff. Freshwater phytoplankton. This is so neat. Thank you everyone for being here and helping me figure this stuff out as we go. I love to share the journey. And to be shared, there's another crescent diatom. Yeah, right off the bat. How come I've never seen any of these until today? And it's funny because I took the sample from the exact same location in the same pond I took a sample from maybe 2 weeks ago. I never saw any crescents then either. That's cool. That's just more proof that you should always keep looking. There's no way you can see it all. There's always going to be something missing. I keep seeing these transparent shapes. And I can't help but feel like these are arthropods of some kind. Doesn't it look like something? But it doesn't have nothing internal. Look at it moving. And it might just be pareidolia, right? Excuse me. Looking at it and seeing a face when there is none. Let's back out. Could just try like a reverse image search, because they all seem to look so much just like that it might just be recognizable to an algorithm. It's so funny that the gastro trick that I saw is just almost identical to the one that we saw on a tiny world. Oh, a sloughed shell of something. That's a good thought, yeah. An exoskeleton or some kind of pre-larval stage of something. Now you... something there. My spidey sense is tingling. Motion. Negative. It's just water distortion. These find it pretty diatom. Look at this guy go. I want to find an amoeba. I've only seen one. Spidey sense does work. I believe in it. I trust my instinct. My god, even more crescent diatoms. That's a really good shot of one right there. That's cool. Alright, I'm gonna do push-ups. While I do that, I want you, if you're interested in diatom stuff, look up Klaus Kemp. He is a diatom artist. You'll know exactly what I mean by that when you look at his art. Klaus Kemp, look him up, like, now, while he's still alive, and with us in the world to bless us with his art. Yeah, diatom artist. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have to clap when I take it all the way down. With the lifters, I can come back here. It feels really good. Gets it deep into the chest. Because I need that. That's where I need the development. Because I have this convex sternum. Which is some genetic thing, I guess. But my sternum is pretty significantly convex. Which just on a purely aesthetic level means any like pectoral muscles are much less pronounced. Gives me a strategic advantage though because I have this bony armor plate. Oh, that's lovely, babe. You've seen his stuff, yeah. I did some research because I was like, how is he doing this. And what I found were some scientific papers on methods of selecting, cleaning, and mounting diatoms. And basically, what you do is you have a petri dish, and you have special kind of like tongs and tweezers, and you poke and pick up the diatoms with a pin. You scoop it up with a pin, and then you take it to a different dish, and you fill a petri dish with all of your diatom samples, and then you wash them. So you wash that whole selection of diatoms, and then you have a special glue that doesn't destroy the diatom and doesn't, it fixes without changing color and all this stuff. And then you basically have a slide which is going to be your canvas, so to speak. And one by one, you pick up your diatoms out of your, you pick them up out of the, your little sample slide, which have all been cleaned. And then you mount and glue them onto your canvas slide, so to speak. That's too much. I just put on too much algae. Gotta lose some algae here. Problem is, algae doesn't like being separated. So, just a second here. I'm actually extremely impressed with these scissors' ability to cut this kind of soft algae. It's pretty wild. It does sound intense. Collect diatoms but keep them alive. Dude, that would be really cool to have a little diatom zoo. Can you imagine? How would you do that? How could you keep all your diatoms alive? You'd have to... I mean, I'm sure there'd be some varieties that you couldn't. Because generationally, their environment needs to be replenished with the right kinds of elements, right? They need their silica, and they need their oxygen, and they need their all kinds of other stuff. Big science words that I don't know. I read them on Wikipedia once, though. That's all right. You made an admirable effort there, Sarah. I salute you. Uh-oh, something's... See this disturbance in the force? Come on. Come on down. What are you? Alright, Illmatic, thanks for hanging out, man. It's good to see you. I'll catch you again soon, alright? Be good. Have a lovely day at work. Another one of you. Yeah, it's getting on that time for you guys, isn't it? I was hoping to catch this in Darkfield, but I don't think it's turning up. There we go. Yeah, these are the little bivalve guys, which... I'd love to know more about these. Great look. We got a great look in between his legs, I guess. It's hard to focus when it keeps wiggling. Yeah, it'd be a huge project, but it'd be fun to even just try to figure it out, right? Ooh, and away he goes. I have an ongoing project in the Nook right now. I'm just trying to make one of those sealed terrariums that just builds its own ecosystem, sort of self-sustainable. But I haven't managed to get life to take hold. Oh, you know that one that was there? Educate me, girl. Educate. All I want is to be educated. We found another insect larva, I think. This is no plant. Gotta keep following this one. Yes, honey. Okay, I will not touch that red rose. Yeah, the terrarium's been a fun project. Enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm trying to focus on, there we go, this segment right here. Oh. Okay, that's just drifting. I thought that was like something extending a proboscis or something. Yeah, a seed shrimp. That's an interesting name for it. I like it. If you look at my Twitter, I actually just made a GIF of this thing. I think that's one of them, but the segments look right. I'm just trying to get to the end, one end or another, and I'll be able to identify it. I don't know, is it really just a plant? It could just be a segmented plant. Because the thing that I was looking at before I could see through. Unless it's a very dead and overgrown thing. It's amazing how many things are invisible until you turn on the backlight. But in dark field, you get an entirely different perspective. What was that? That's an ostracod? How would I identify it as such? Is it sort of this sort of figure eight shaped body, sort of double segmented. It's flat. I take it the underside's probably hairy. Got a lot of cilia down there. Or ostracot is the ostracot is the bivalve guy, isn't it? That name is ringing a bell. I think I misunderstood you at first. Ostracot is the bivalve guy. I think that's right. Vorticella, finally! I can't believe it took us this long to find a Vorticella, and I think these are dead. These are dead. Podocopita. I love the names of these things, they're so fun. These are dead Vorticella. You see they're not waving their cilia around. The Vorticella seem to be the first individuals to die in these environments. Oh, the seed shrimp thing is called Podocopia. Let me look that up because I want to see a picture of it. Podocopita. Bingo. It's an ostracod species. Still in the last research project. Yep, definitely ostracods. And that was a Podocopita.
Babe, I just got us up to 3 stars.
Oh, nice, babe. What is a seed shrimp? Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. I was just wondering if it was something else. So that's the thing that is like nearly coating the surface of this top jar is ostracods. What? What's happening on the island? Oh, KK is gonna come. Good job, babe. Oh, I bet Fauna would have moved in if we had a park. Those crescent diatoms are my favorite. I've never seen one before tonight. I was just beginning to grow bored with the same old bivalve diatoms. It's that little round guy. These are all like graveyards. By the time 3 days have passed, and I go through, it's just like these are junkyards, scattered pieces, bits and pieces and dismembered body parts all over the place. Like these are the remains on a battlefield that we're looking at. And the only things still alive are the biggest and the baddest and the toughest. Sarah, it was awesome to have you. Thank you so much. Get some rest and have a lovely evening. You deserve it. Yeah, to illustrate my point. Graveyard. You can see just the contents spilling out of busted membranes. What is that? Let's see here. Check out some of the Crescent Diatom photos that are shared in Julie's Discord. One person has those. Oh, she's got a Discord? I'll double check her bio for that. Here's mine. I post my gardening and my any kind of wood crafting or food or all my other stuff in there is in my Discord. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Let's see what else we can get to here. She has clothes and umbrellas mostly. Ba-ba-da. Kids are bad at games. Look at that little Y-shaped thing there. Let's be bold. That bathroom's crazy. Sometimes I try to imagine could you imagine what the experience is like for one of these organisms? I mean, when you get down to the micron scale, I'm trying to settle on a good branch. There. It's just amazing, the complexity and the details. Just can't get enough. What was that? You want to take her stove? Then you could have a full kitchen, huh? Damn it, I lost the thing I was looking for. What have we found here? A piece of feather? Those look like feather, doesn't it? That looks like a little tiny piece of down, which there would be because ducks do live in this pond. So I would fully expect to find a piece of down here and there. Yeah, I think it is a feather. Look at the way that these segments are. It's been submerged for a while because little baby stentor are growing on it. What are you? Let's take it back up to 100. That thing's hairy. Yeah, you can see that with the naked eye. That is actually a feather. Neat. Look, a couple of ostracods got caught on the side. Are these baby ostracods hanging out near it? That's something, alright. A thing like that. So this ostracod here is actually trapped. He's pinched. And this is actually the edge of the water. You can see the tension. See the light is bending here and here and here? It's because the water tension has him pinned down. And the water is bending the light, causing this strange appearance there. They don't like it. I'm sorry, ostracods, I can't save you or keep you alive. Alrighty. Well, I think that might be it. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. That was fun and cool. And neat. And fun. Another ostracod. Yes. My little ostracods have all these little spots on their shells. It's really cute. It's adorable. Well, that was a good time, people. Thank you for hanging out while we look through the microscope. Next stream, we'll probably be flying some spaceships. We're going to do some video games for the next couple streams, but this is going to be a part of the heavy rotation. Always coming back to the microscope because obviously I could do this for a very long time. So, chat, appreciate you guys. Give me a what's up if you're there. If you're lurking, I still love you. It's burning through these pipettes. Throw you away. Clean you. I gotta... a whole bunch of slides to wash. I'll probably just throw these into the dishwasher. Wife said no. I don't know. We'll see about that. I'm tired. Adam, peace, my friend. I'll catch you soon. All right, everybody. Let's look at the video highlight. The ostracod. That was a good look. Yeah, it would. I'd love that. We got rid of that. We got rid of all of our baby stuff because we ain't having any more babies. One and done. I found like 6 more of these tonight. I'm exaggerating. Actually, 3 more of these tonight. But that was neat. And then we found a bunch of these crescent diatoms, which... Where's the picture of them? Heliozoa. I gotta annotate these. Heliozoan. Gastrotric. Crescents. Diatom and ciliated protozoa? Question mark? Trying to remember to annotate my stuff now. Because that was a cool find. Is it close up? Ton of these crescent diatoms. That was cool. All right, fams. Good night. I'll see y'all soon. Big yawn. Thanks for the push-ups. We'll do them again soon.